Rivera, and my reasoning is
keep
this.
it under 30 seconds.
The Carolina Panthers defense, they only have Brian Burns and K'Wan Short's healthy. They lost Luke Kuechly. The secondary's been decimated.
Yeah, that sucks.
They lost some guys on the D line too. The offense is going to keep the Panthers competitive, but the defense is what's going to lose them games. They're only going to win like 5-6 games this year. So Redskins are probably going to win 7 or 8. So Redskins.
Daniel Moore, Ron Rivera, or Mark Rule? Right now, it's 2 in favor of Ron Rivera.
I'm going to go with Rivera, and I'm actually going to go on record now and say give Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio 2 years, and they're going to lock down the NFC East as long as they're together. Wow,
that is taking a big
I'm going on a
limb
and saying it now.
Holy smokes, he's jumping off the cliff with that comment. Mike Guerin, Ron Rivera, Mark Rule.
Tom Landry. I couldn't tell you guys.
I think that answer wins.
Now, I have no clue. It's a toss-up.
Okay, all right. Bruce Barrett, Ron Rivera, Mark Rule. Right now, Ron Rivera leads.
Yeah, I would have to say Ron Rivera. And the reason I say this is, one, I think that the NFC East is not as this is my opinion now, folks. There's some that probably disagree with me. Is not as strong a division as the NFC South is. I mean, think about this. It's going to be really good television when Bridgewater and the Saints and the Panthers play.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, think about that. That's going to be fun TV to watch. But I really believe, the Panthers have lost a great player at linebacker who retired this year. And I can't think of anybody that can replace him immediately that's on their roster.
There is no one.
I just think that.
There's no one in the NFL.
I think that guy.
I mean, they just picked up a guy that had back-to-back 100 tackles that led his team.
Guys.
I mean,
in his prime, anyway.
I keep going.
Oh,
yeah, but I'm talking about. I believe the heart that this guy had that played that position was just.
So it's Ron Rivera.
I mean, I'm sorry. I remember him coming off the field one time. He had a concussion and he was in tears and they talked about that. It wasn't so much the concussion, even though I'm sure that was very painful. It was the fact that he had to leave the field, and he just wanted to be out there.
Well, I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Bruce. Continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I believe Ron Rivera right now will probably have the better season, and a lot of that will be just because of the divisions.
Yes.
That the division he'll play in. I think it's a little bit. I mean, things can turn around. The Cowboys can start hitting again, and the Eagles. And
are you serious?
Who knows? The Eagles. I mean, they'd have to do
only a Super Bowl team just a couple of years ago, and
how about the Cowboys? Who was a Super Bowl team a couple of years ago?
Yeah. How about the Cowboys?
Hey, I told you, Tom Landry.
That's right.
Yeah, well, I just think that the division, I think that's going to be a big deal.
Okay, so Trace Knight, I hate to burst your bubble or be the bearer of bad news here on the round table, but you just got CRN dogpiled 4-1 to a tie. Okay, so it's
it's one of those. It's a bad situation where 4 people are wrong and 1 is right. So
wow.
I mean, it is what it is, and based on true facts.
Everybody better remember this.
Based on true facts. And based on factual comments and players and roster and division, and 4 people to 1, I'll take that because it's a great day when you defeat 4 people and you win on just the one comment. I mean, I'm okay with that.
I hope that all of our crew remember this night at 10:07 Eastern Time, March 31st, 2020. we will all remember this day, this night, and we will see who's on top at the end of the season, whether it's Ron Rivera of the Washington Redskins or the new Carolina Panthers head coach Mark Rule. And Trace Knight, I hope you eat those words. You want to put a wager on it? Some type of never mind. Hey, okay, speaking of NFL.
I told you so. That's all I'm going to do. Told you so.
I told you so? Okay, well, yeah. Speaking of the NFL, guys, it was announced this afternoon. We talked about it briefly on the roundtable as well, on the Sports Power Hour, one of our other podcasts on Tuesday night with Bruce Barrett and myself. The NFL is looking to change their schedule for the playoffs, looking to change actually their entire schedule of football, looking to now do 3 preseason games. Obviously, they'd still have at Canton, Ohio, the Hall of Fame game, where this year I'm looking forward to Pittsburgh Steelers playing against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm looking forward to that. But anyhow, with that being said, 3 preseason games, 17 regular season games, and then instead of it being a 18 playoff, it would basically, or a 16 playoff with the East and the West, which would be 12 teams. Now they're looking to make it 8 teams, which will be 7 teams in on each side. So a 14-team playoff bracket. First round buys to the top in the seed of the East and the West, or the NFC and the AFC. Do you agree with this, or should we leave the schedule the way it is? And Trace Knight, could it be because it is what we're dealing with this pandemic?
Well, I actually like the idea of expanding the playoff field to 14 teams.
I'm glad
Makes
your
it a
name
little
is
bit
Trey,
more
Brandon.
competitive, more wild card. Oh, huh?
I said I'm glad your name is Trey, Brandon, but go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I must have missed that part. But look, I like the idea of like 14-team playoff. I've actually kind of thought the playoffs should have been expanded for a few years, so I agree with that. But the idea of playing like a 17-game schedule, I don't know. I mean, we all know the issues with like CTEs and long-term injuries and stuff like that. I think they really should have just kept it at 16. I didn't really see anything wrong with that. But, I mean, the players, they agreed to this collective bargaining agreement. They wanted 17 games. They wanted an extra team in the playoffs. They wanted 3 preseason games. And, that's also something I'm in favor of. So I agree with 2 parts, but the big thing, like the 17-game schedule, they should have just left it at 16.
So my question is this. Are they going to do away, Trace Knight, with the bye week? And now everybody has to play 17 weeks of football. What's your take on it?
Well, the NFL is, in any corporation, is how can we make the most money, okay? And allowing to have a less preseason game, adding into the regular season, one, you get more attendance, you get more concessions, you get more people energized. Now, fans get excited to go to the game itself. Of course, you're going to still get the media deals, but you're going to have more people go to games. And I love the playoff, expanding the playoff field, because it makes the regular season actually mean something, because you have the teams that are sub 500, 8-8. For example, the Cowboys, if they would have made it into the playoffs, you just don't. And so you just don't know. And again, I actually really like the expanded playoff field aspect of it, because it allows teams that are on that brink to really fight for it at the end of the season. So I'm a fan of it. Of course, like Brandon mentioned just a second ago, you don't like with the injury aspect of things,
right?
But it's based on money. It's based on revenue, and the next man up mentality for NFL is you're going to probably see starters sit out those games that they should be able to win, and then have an extra few days during the week off. That's probably what's going to happen, but it's based off of money, and so anybody that's trying to better himself in money, I'm definitely all for.
Hey,
for sure.
Old school Mike Guerin, do you think Tom Landry would like this new schedule?
I'm not a big fan of change, so I can't speak. I have not kept up with NFL in the last several years. And I didn't even know that they were planning on changing. I'm still advocating for a real playoff in college football.
Yes. Can we talk about that on another subject? Yes, indeed. Bruce Barrett, but, with this new change for the NFL, we could possibly finally see the Cleveland Browns or the Detroit Lions finally make it in the playoffs, besides the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I think that, a lot of times you'll see a rule that the NFL brings up. The next year, it seems like college football is now taking that same stance. They seem to follow. So I would love to see the college football playoffs extended somehow. Just how you would do that. I know they use the bowls, the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and try to move it around. And then somebody like the Peach Bowl would have the national championship game, even though it's not the Peach Bowl. The Peach Bowl was played prior. The national championship is just played in Atlanta. So, I think that, to expand the college playoffs would be a good thing. But going back to the NFL, and I said this earlier in the Power Hour.
Yes.
One, it gives me personally, I get to watch a little bit more football. There's another couple of teams that are going to be figuring in, and I don't know if it'll be the Jacksonville Jaguars, but anyway.
Or the Cleveland Browns.
You guys are picking now. She hasn't gone to bed yet.
I'm sorry, Dolly.
Hey, I'm rooting for the Browns. I'm a fan of that. My family lived in Ohio, so I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, well, Dolly's from that area. Yeah, well,
there you go.
But I think that it'll be good. I think the 17 games will be good. Cutting one more preseason game, going from 4 to 3, is that really going to matter?
I don't see
doubt
why
it.
not.
As far as and think about this though.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen one of the star players in a preseason game go down and then he misses half the season?
Right.
I can attest to that.
So,
okay,
yeah,
let's let Daniel Moore spill his guts about this whole thing. Daniel, go ahead. Relentless Daniel. Schedules.
Well,
NFL.
Like Bruce said, you get to see a little more football. So that's good.
That's your answer.
Well, no, I think what's going to come about it though. Down the road, I think you may see some more kind of Cinderella type scenarios. Teams with this extra implication of allowing another team in from each conference.
Yes.
There's just more of a chance for that Cinderella story to happen. And depending on the team getting in, sometimes you see things where like early in the season you'll lose to a team, tie your 2 games with the team in your conference, but they have the tiebreaker, the first win, and they make it in, and then your team may not have, but then maybe with this third wild card position you may be able to make it in now. So and depending on every given Sunday it's a different situation. We've seen teams that should have lost come out and win. So and that goes from NFL all the way down to a lot of the high school games we cover too. So
okay, Tony D'Amato.
But I think do what?
I said okay, Tony D'Amato. You had to use a quote for any given Sunday. I had to call you Coach Tony D'Amato.
Oh.
Oh wow! Oh.
But yeah, so that's my take on it, though. I think it's interesting as long as it doesn't get to the point where like they expand it to where it's like the NBA, where like almost every team makes it in except 2. Okay. I think it's 2 or 3 teams that don't make it in the NBA.
Yeah,
so, as long as it doesn't kind of take some of the competition out of it, I'm cool with it.
For sure. Okay, guys, so let's open up the Pandora's box about the NCAA. Of course, they're at a stalemate right now with spring sports, winter sports on hold. No NCAA March Madness tournament. We're normally right now setting ourselves up for the Final Four Saturday night. This Saturday night would be the Final Four. Monday night would be the championship to decide the men and women's champion in basketball. But, hey, football for the NCAA, for the college football playoff. Is it time we're looking at the NFL changing things. Trey Snide, do you believe that the powers that be are going to start in the college playoff making some changes?